Hello friends, welcome to Help Me Coder, the channel which talks about technology and helps the coder community out there. And in today's video, which is part 12 of our Powered Automate series, we are going to discuss about select action. Till now we have covered 11 videos, and in many of those videos we were receiving data from multiple data sources. Imagine getting data from Excel file or getting it from SharePoint list. So when you receive the data, you might receive the arrays of rows that you receive at one go. So when you receive these arrays of data, you have to manipulate the data sometime. So imagine the data have a lot of columns. You might not need at the end all these columns to work on. So you have to choose certain columns that you want to work on. Plus also you might want to format certain columns into the way you want to present or showcase to the end user. So for this data transformation to work, we have been using apply to each clause, and then we were manipulating by creating a certain array inside it and then manipulating the data. But with select action, this can not even be faster but also easier for you to do those manipulations and data transformation. So in this video, we are going to see a demo how we were using the apply to each earlier and how in this demo we can use select action to make this thing faster and easier for you to develop. This diagram basically shows you what is the select action. As I mentioned, used to transform and reshape your data array. So whatever array that you receive, you might want to transform data from not only the perspective of adding multiple columns together. Maybe you have first name and last name and you want to combine them together as full name. That is one thing that you can do. Plus on top of it, you can also transform the data, like calculate certain values. So imagine you are getting a salary, but the end result that you want to show, you want to add a bonus of 10%. So that way you can change the data once it goes into this select clause, so that the end array that you receive is transformed in the format in the way that you want it. Now, what are the benefits of select action in Power Automate? We have a lot of benefits that I've shown in the right hand side, but I have covered 4 major benefits that we see out of it. One is you don't need to use apply to each loop. So we have been using apply to each loop in till now to iterating through all those items and doing the data transformation. So we don't need to loop through each item like we have been doing. This will make your flow faster. It will be much more cleaner flow design, plus it will give you a better performance. So that is one thing. Easy data transformation. So earlier, you remember, we have been using this apply to each, then we have to create an array variable, initialize it, then we have to append to that array variable. So all those things we have to do. Then it supports expressions and custom logic, so you can use if condition to support your logic. You can format it, like for example, the first name, you want to format everything to uppercase, you can do that. You can combine multiple field, as I mentioned earlier, so that is there. Improves performance. So definitely it improves performance, but because when you work with larger data set and if you are avoiding loops and fewer actions, then it will reduce your number of API calls that you are making. It will definitely faster, it will definitely increase the speed of your flow. So now the important part which you have been waiting for, on how do you use select action in Power Automate. And in this demo, what we are going to do is we are going to run a manual trigger, and then we'll be connecting to a SharePoint list to extract certain columns out of it, and then even do manipulations on those columns to create a new set of array for us to be used, which will be passing using a CSV table to the end user. Let's quickly go back to make.powerautomate, where we will see the select action. So this is our SharePoint list, which we'll be using is as part of this demo, and this list contains, as you see, lot of different records. So the end goal that we want to do is we want only the full name, which we are gonna combine the first name and last name, plus we want the department of the person and how many days he have been there with the company. So we know the current start date of that person, so we want to calculate how many days he has been with the company. So I will be showing you in the demo, if we were not knowing select, then how we will be doing this thing in apply to each, and then what benefits are there by using the select. So both the things I will show you in this demo. So let's go and start our instant cloud flow. So we will name this flow as select in action. It is a manual trigger of flow. We will have to connect to the SharePoint list that I just showed you. We will say get items. We have to connect to this site. Then list name is employee list. So it gets all the data. Now it is an array of all the employees details, but now I have to run through all the items. So I will say apply to each. So under controls, you will see this apply to each. I have to connect this apply to each to this body value. So this is all the items that it has retrieved. Now I have to manipulate it. So for this, I will be using an array. So I'm not using select right now. I will show you select later. Inside variable, we will say initialize variable. Variable name is var new transformed data. This is of type array. We can leave it blank or we can just save it like this. Now we have initialized the variable. We have to use this variable. So I have to click on variable again. So I would use append to array variable over here. I will refer to this variable which is initialized variable, and here I need to create our data structure that you want to capture after each iteration. I would create this curly braces, and inside this I want to capture everything: full name, get item first name, and then I would say last name. So I would put under double quotes this one because it is stored as string, and then this is a comma. Department I will write over here again under double quotes, and this is also a string. So for department I will choose department value would be there, department value. So again this is I have to put under double quotes, put a comma here. So the next thing I want to show you is number of days employee. So this one again I have to put it under double quotes, but this is an integer number. So for this I have to create an expression. I can use this fx function. So I would say date difference. So current date I will take from the dynamic content, which is start date over here, then which is the end date. So end date is today's date. So I will say UTC now. So I will save this. Okay, I will test this flow now manually. I will do a test. So now the flow is running, as you see. So there are 21 rows in this particular list. Now I will see the output. How does the output look like? So right now you see there is a one item. You keep on iterating all these items. At the end you will see that there are 21 items. So you will see that these are all the items. The full name has been computed, department has been added, and number of days is something like added like this. This is the actual number of days. These are like hour and minutes or seconds, something like that. But I just need this particular date. Let me go and edit this flow. So what you can do is instead of just the date difference, what I can say is first I will convert this thing into string. So if you have noticed that in that date we were getting a dot actually in between the days and the hour, minute and second. So that is we can split it for that day, for that dot. So I would say split on what item I have to split is this particular dot. Now once you split it, it converts it into an array of different items. So the first item that is the first one before the dot one, that one I want to have. So I will just put a word called first. To ensure everything is proper, I will convert it into an integer, and then I will save this. So I will update this thing. So now it will give me a correct value. So now this is how we were doing it earlier in apply to each. Now we will see how it works in select. Go over here, you type select receive. So if you see all the data operation, one of the data operation is select over here. So you have to define the initial array from where you have to on which you will be working on. So that one is something, this get items body value, this is the one we will be using. Now on that one we have to map the new key and the new value that we want to compute. In this key value mode, the key is something that you have to type in, create your own key. Full name, this value would be our Seymour first name, and give a space, and I could say the last name. So that is the full name. So easy, don't have to write any code. So the other thing that I can say is department, and here I will choose again the department Seymour, and I will get the department value. Then the third thing that we are going to do is the number of days something that we had, and here the value, again you can use the fx function to derive the whole value. In this case we have already done and showed you how it works. That simple it is to create the select clause. So now let me quickly test it out for you. I saved this flow and it gave us a request to XRMI API failed with error blah 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 something. It failed actually over here. So sometimes what happens is when you are copying this data, somehow fails to copy it correctly. I believe I will do this part manually over here. I would take the initial date, which is the dynamic content, get items here, start date. Then I will take the UTC, the in date now over here. Let me save and test if this one works. Hopefully should work. Once I test it, it is running, and let us see it in action. So this one, see, it takes so much of time. 1 out of 21 it ran, and this one is so fast, 0 seconds it ran everything, and you got the output as well. So if you see right now, if I'm seeing the output of this select clause, if you see the right hand side, full name, number of days, also because of the calculation formula that we did, we split it on the dot and then we chose the first part. That is how the number of days is coming. So select clause is superb actually in doing these data transformation. It is faster than the apply to each, plus it is easier for us to do and use the select clause. So definitely a very good value add while you want to transform your array into some other format. Now as I mentioned earlier, we are going to convert it into CSV file and then send it as an email. So this is the CSV table. So the array is something that we got the array just now, which is our select clause. So that is the output, and then we will be sending an email. So you'll say send email and then send an email v2, and to whom I'm going to send. This is my email ID, subject. So in this I will open this attachment field, and this I will click on add new item, attachment name, file, and then I can say UTC. Now I just want to add this, so basically it will show me the date, and then attachment of content I would take it from the CSV table that is there, that is the output, and I will save this. So send an email body is required, so I'll just write test. Let us test it. So once you've done this, if you will see that this email will be sent out. So I think I have received an email. So HR team transform data. So this is the file, and let me open this file. It is a CSV file. So hope I would have shown you how this data transformation work with select action, and how beneficial is for you to use select action in your Power Automate flows that you are writing. So thanks for watching this video, and I hope you would have learned something new from this video, and this cleared your doubt on the select action in Power Automate. But still, if you have any questions on select action, do remember to put in your comments in the description section below of our video. This will keep us motivated to bring awesome content for you in future. And if you find any issues or anything, you can let me know in the comment section. I will try to help you as much as possible. So thanks for watching this video, and until next time, happy coding.